Congratulations! You did it! You survived Mercury Retrograde. Whew. Oh, that was a rough one, you guys. Let me tell you. So, this is a story time, just so you guys know. But let's talk about Mercury Retrograde for a moment. Thankfully, it is over. I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, the Mercury retrogrades that seem to happen during the summer always just run me over. I don't know why that is. Maybe it has more to do with my own personal placements and other transits aspecting in my birth chart and that kind of thing. Probably, most likely, that's what it is. But I definitely seem to go through the ringer when Mercury retrogrades over the course of the summer. Mercury retrograde does happen 3 times a year typically, so there's usually a couple of other times it happens, but the summer ones always just really nail me. So before we get to Mercury retrograde itself, which basically happened all throughout August this year, let's back it up to July for a minute. So in July, like right before the 4th of July, I went back home to Chicago to visit my mom and spend the 4th of July with her, just enjoy, right? So I was there for roughly about 3 weeks, came home towards the end of July. So I was back in Colorado for like the final week of July, right? And everything was fine, you know, just unpacking, getting settled, getting back into the flow of things, right? And the next thing you know, I get a notice on my door. I get a notice on my door from my lovely property management here at my apartment building. And the notice was telling me that I needed to be out of my apartment for like the whole following week because the owners were basically getting all this plumbing work done. They were going to come in here and they were going to be in my bathroom and in my kitchen and replacing all the pipes, doing all this crazy stuff, right? So basically, I had to be out of here. Which, believe me, I was like, are you serious? I just got back into town like last week. And now I have to be out of here again. Like, you couldn't have done this just like a little bit earlier? No, of course not. So anyways, I wind up staying at a family friend's house for majority of the time that this work is being done. I even came back like the first night because I forgot something to pick something up, and the first night that I came back that they were like working on things, my toilet was literally sitting in the bathtub. So that's how screwed up everything was. Anyways, needless to say, because this work was happening during Mercury retrograde, it did not go as planned. There were tons of delays. The workers didn't really like. Okay, yes, granted, the plumbing work was done. I'm not saying it wasn't. Like, I did come back to running water and all that, which is great. But they didn't clean up their mess. They left holes in the wall. They didn't put my towel rack back up on the wall. Like, there was a whole bunch of stuff that was left unfinished in the aftermath of it. So it was the aftermath that took a long time for me to even get back into my apartment, because it was like pulling teeth trying to get these people to basically put my apartment back the way that they walked into it when they first came in here in the first place. Now, I didn't blame property management for this or anything, because I knew they were stuck between a rock and a hard place. They were stuck between communicating with me and the owners and the vendors and everything else. And I wasn't the only one who was dealing with this, because it was a whole bunch of units, a whole bunch of tenants that were displaced when they were doing this, because they're doing a huge overhaul basically to the entire property when it comes to this massive plumbing project. So the family friends that I was staying with during this whole project, I had to pack up myself, my 2 dogs. I have like this equipment, my ring light here, all this stuff for recording content, basically, my oracle decks and so on. So it was a huge project, just like taking all this and, going like 15 minutes away. They were very gracious, of course, to have me there. And these are family friends who have basically known me since I was a baby. They've known me my entire life. So I was very grateful for them to help me out for this whole situation. But I had kind of picked up by the end of my stay there that I had stayed a little bit longer than they would have liked. Now, granted, I would have loved to have been home a lot sooner. Obviously, this was a situation that was out of my control. It was like an expired fruit or vegetable, is what it comes down to. I just could kind of sense that I really wasn't welcome to stay there any longer because, it had gone beyond the time that I was supposed to be back here. And believe me, I wanted to be back at my home, but the situation was out of my control. There was nothing that I could do. I was thrown into the first place. And I was doing everything in my power, communicating with property management and so on to get the ball rolling. So anyways, I felt bad for staying there longer than what was happening here because, no construction plumbing thing ever goes as timed, as scheduled, right? Those things never go as planned, especially not during Mercury retrograde. Bad time to do any of those things, right? So I left, and I left there before I could come back home because they were still working on cleaning this place and putting this place back together for me to come home. So I wound up spending one night and one night only at a hotel. And I've stayed at this hotel before a couple of years ago. Didn't have this issue, but I had this issue this time. And I found a bed bug in that hotel, like the following morning. So I always do like these massive, crazy inspections of my hotel rooms when I stay somewhere because I've been through bed bugs before. I went through a crazy infestation 8 years ago when I was living in LA. And if you want to know more about that story, head over to my website. Go to the blog area there. The blog post is how I survived bedbug hell and lived to tell about it, which is true because it was hell. It was a nightmare. I was literally homeless during that time, even though I had an apartment. And I was like that for literally months. I was homeless and suicidal due to bed bugs for months. It was an extreme situation. I don't think most people go through that extreme of situations when it comes to bed bugs, but I definitely did. And and just in general, even if you don't go through an extreme situation with bed bugs are known to bring along psychological stress and PTSD. It can bring a lot of mental problems is what it comes down to. A lot of mental health issues, which I can safely say I have. I am returning to therapy in September because of this whole situation. Well, not just because of that situation, but that's going to be the first thing I talk about, that's for sure. Because my PTSD has been insane. Anyways, if you want to know the full story of that, like I said, go to that blog post. It's way too much to talk about here in this one little video, and that's not what this is about anyways. That's just background context as to why I go so nuts on basically doing these inspections in my hotel rooms before I get settled. And everything checked out. The night that I got settled in there, everything looks fine. So I settled in. I always keep my luggage in the bathroom. I never place it on the bed, and I never put it anywhere in the bedroom, basically, because I know better. But anyways, the next morning after I took a shower, that was when I saw the bed bug. And, I bolted out of that hotel so fast. I took a picture of it. I showed the front desk the picture of it. I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm out of here. So before I could even come home, I went to the laundromat. I spent hours at the laundromat doing every single piece of laundry ever. I was putting in things from my car, just from having stuff in my car from the hotel, all of my clothes that were on me, my dog stuff, their bedding and everything that I had with me, anything and everything. It went into that laundromat. I dried, I washed, and I dried again because it's heat. It's the dryer heat that winds up killing not only the bugs, but also the eggs. So anyways, unfortunately, I know way too much about bed bugs, and I don't like that I know it, but I do. I know it. So if you ever have a bed bug infestation, hit me up. I might be able to help you out with some tips and tricks. So anyways, yeah, so I did all of that before coming home, before doing anything else, because I was like, I am not bringing my stuff into a apartment unless it's clean. I am not bringing any eggs, any bugs, no nothing into here. I'm not going through that ever again. So anyway, I finished up with the laundromat, and then I went to my storage unit. I went to my storage unit because I have a pack-tight bed bug heater from the last time I went through bed bugs. And basically what this thing is, you guys can't see it, like I'm literally looking at it right now. It's like across the way from my desk. But basically it's like this huge thing that it heats up. It's a heater is what it comes down to. And you can place items in there that you can't launder. So, you know, I had my Oracle decks, for example. I can't put Oracle decks in the laundry. That's going to destroy them. I don't want to throw them away. I don't want to have them sit in storage, because you can also put things in storage for 18 months to make sure it's clean of bed bugs, because a bed bug can go for 18 months without feeding. So if you have, like, you know, old family photo albums or something like that, you don't want to throw it away, you have to stick it in storage unless you can heat treat it. So that's basically what I was doing. I was heat treating everything. I heat treated my Oracle decks, makeup. I was like, I hope it doesn't melt. It didn't melt, thankfully. But I heat treated like all of this stuff that I couldn't stick in the laundry. Thankfully, I only had my carry-on luggage with me for this little situation, and the carry-on luggage fits in the pack-tight. So I put my carry-on luggage in there, and literally it sat in there at 140 degrees for 90 minutes to make sure that it was completely clean. So between the stuff that I put in the pack-tight bed bug heater and the laundry and everything, I'm hoping I brought things back clean, because, you know, that was the first thing I did when I got home. I brought in the pack-tight bed bug heater, and then I just started sticking things in there that weren't laundered, and I did not bring them out and put them away until they had been heated up, basically. And nothing is destroyed or anything like that. Everything is safe, so that's great. So yeah, but it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work to make sure that you're basically bed bug clean is what it comes down to, which is part of the reason that it gives a lot of psychological issues, because it's a lot more than just like getting rid of fleas or something like that. like even roaches, it's worse than roaches. Like, oh, I mean, I wouldn't want roaches or fleas either, obviously, but I'm just saying in terms of what is easier to get rid of, like those are easier to get rid of than a bed bug. So I've been home and settled now for a little bit, and all of my plumbing works. All the plumbing work is done, although I see the plumbing trucks circling the apartment complex like every day, so I know they're destroying other people's lives very peacefully and happily at this point in time. So I'm hoping it goes better for the other people, because my group of people, us tenants and units that were attacked first, we were like literally the first ones on the list, which is why this has been such a mess. We've been the guinea pigs pretty much. The water works, everything is great. Everything is clean. Like, the vendors did their version of clean, but I mean, I could still see streaks everywhere and stuff. So I kind of went over everything and cleaned it anyways, but it looks great. It looks fabulous. It's all ready for me to bring my fall decorations out from storage and start putting, you know, festive orange and yellow leaves and pumpkins and that kind of stuff everywhere, which I'm so excited for. But anyways, yeah, so everything is clean, and I haven't seen any bed bugs, thankfully. I've been checking and inspecting. I've been very vigilant. I've been like vacuuming down my couch all the time. I have like these little climb up things. Sorry, the microphone was in the way. basically they are like these little containers that you put underneath the legs of furniture, like your bed or your couch or whatever, and they're like a little bed bug trap is what it comes down to. So my bed, it's pulled away from the wall. I've got these climb ups everywhere. I've got diatomaceous earth everywhere because that helps get rid of them. I've done all these like extra preventative stuff. Now, granted, maybe I didn't necessarily go to this extreme, and a lot of that is probably my PTSD, but it makes me feel safe. It makes me feel better. And like I've done everything that I possibly can that is within my control to hopefully not ever have to experience going through this situation ever again, like what I did 8 years ago. So anyways, and this is really bad, you guys. I've been sleeping on my couch ever since I've been back because I'm just scared to sleep in my bed. Like that's, like I said, that's how much it messes with your mind. Now, eventually, I know I have to go back to my bed. And quite honestly, it probably doesn't matter where I sleep. If a bed bug is around, it's going to find me no matter where I'm at. But I'm just going to remain vigilant. And hopefully, I will continue to not see anything because I've done so much to stop it before it starts. So, yeah. But my anxiety levels have been through the roof. And honestly, out of all of this, the bed bug thing got to me way worse than even just like the plumbing stuff and the delays and the fights with like the vendors, getting them to clean and everything. But yeah, everything looks good around here. Everything is clean. I'm back home. I'm not inconveniencing anyone. So hopefully things can return to normal, right? So why am I sharing this crazy saga with you guys? I promise you there's a point. I know it's been a very long story. If you've been tuning in, I appreciate you so much. Let me just say that first and foremost. Because I know a lot of people, you know, no one has attention spans anymore, right? People just swipe. The reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is number one, like I said, this all happened during Mercury Retrograde. So I would like to know from you guys first and foremost, how was your Mercury retrograde? Did it kick your ass like it did for me? Did you, like, I mean, if you're watching this, you must have survived it. But anyways, yeah, I'm just curious to know, how was your Mercury retrograde? Did anything crazy happen? Did you experience setbacks like I did? Maybe you experienced something worse. I hope not, but maybe you did. I don't know. So anyways, share with me your Mercury in retrograde horror stories in the comments. Let's swap these awful experiences, and you know, we can give each other a little bit of comfort, a little support, a little bit of healthy venting. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, the reason why I'm also sharing this with you guys is I do want to let you guys know of a few new offerings that are up on my website. And you know, Mercury retrograde in general, it can give us a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress, right? So I have my phone here. I just wanted to mention to you guys some of the new offerings on my website. So I have 2 new readings up on my website. A career solutions reading. So if you're needing a little bit of guidance, a little bit of wisdom and support on where to go when it comes to your career, making money, you know, that's the reading for you. Maybe you're unemployed, you're trying to figure out your next steps. Maybe you're a business owner, you're trying to figure out your next steps with your business, whatever the case may be. So there's that reading. There's a past lives reading where we dive into your past lives and kind of connect the dots basically to see what the thread and the ties from the past may be connecting into this current lifetime and what you need to learn and know, and basically that kind of stuff. So if you're curious to know about your past life, so those are the 2 new readings. But I have some other interesting stuff as well. An abundance activation guided meditation. So this is personalized. It's not like some general random thing where you look it up on YouTube or something like that and you're like, I want a guided meditation. No, this is personalized to you. You let me know what it is that you're trying to manifest, what it is that you're seeking abundance in, whether it's love or money or whatever it is. and I customize a meditation specifically for you, for your needs, for what you want in your life. So it's not generalized at all. So there's that meditation. There's also a twin flame healing session. So if you're in a twin flame dynamic, once again, these are all personalized. It's not general. It's not something that you can just look up on YouTube. It's available to everybody, or look up on Instagram, TikTok, wherever it is that you're trying to find it. But yes, a twin flame healing session specifically for you and your twin flame. So that way then you can find union within, and that way then you can find union without. There is also an ancestral DNA karma cleansing session. Now that is specifically tied to family. That's kind of actually inspired just from me going through some of my own stuff with my own family, which has nothing to do with Mercury retrograde, obviously, but it's definitely inspired off of things I have been through when it comes to that. So, you know, the karma cleansing with ancestral DNA, that could be a lot of different things. It could be addictions, it could be abuse, it could be ending toxic cycles within your family. But either way, once again, is customized directly to your situation. So, you know, you just let me know what it is of what's going on, and I channel and I create what it is that you need. And finally, the last one, which I think is going to be really good for anyone who's had a rough Mercury retrograde, or just going through it in general. Like, this doesn't have to be just Mercury retrograde, but any time really, is the release burdens and anxiety guided meditation. Because let's be real, life, it knows how to life, man. It knows how to life hard. So with the release burdens and anxiety guided meditation, once again, it is customized to your specific anxieties, your specific stresses and problems of what you're experiencing in life. So whether it's like Mercury retrograde related, maybe you're moving and you're stressed out, you lost your job, you're worried about money, you're having relationship problems, you're having problems with your family, whatever the stress may be. I basically do a guided meditation to help ground you and to help you just simply stabilize in terms of your nervous system, become calm again. And it's something that you can listen to when you go to bed at night. It'll help you sleep. It'll help you reprogram your mind ultimately to focus on solutions to your problems instead of like just sitting in the rocking chair, basically going back and forth, just worrying. So it's definitely helpful for any of those things. I wish someone had a guided meditation for me, specifically when it came to bed bugs, with my bed bug PTSD. I am not kidding. It would probably help like a million times. So it can be for something like that. Maybe it's a bed bug problem, just like me, or maybe it's some other kind of infestation. I don't know. But like I said, any stress or anxiety, we can work with that. You just let me know what it is, and I will send you your own personalized meditation to assist you in ultimately helping you get better. It may not fix the problem outright, but it's going to help you in terms of your mental health and your emotional health and being able to navigate that so you can get through on the other side successfully. And that's ultimately what we want. We can't avoid problems in life. Life is always going to throw us problems, but it's up to us on how we respond and how we handle it moving forward. And we can always overcome those obstacles when they're thrown to us. So that was kind of the main point of this huge, long 3-part story. I honestly didn't think this was going to be as long as it took, but as I was editing it, I figured maybe it would go to 2. I didn't realize it was going to be 3, but it did, so I'm sorry. This is so incredibly long. I usually don't do long things on here like this, but if you stayed tuned for all of it, you are a rock star. I appreciate you so incredibly much. So yeah, just thank you. Anyways, that's the whole story behind my Mercury retrograde journey this past August, and some offerings I want to bring you guys based off of that. And you're welcome to check out the other offerings too. I have twin flame readings that are already up and available. They've been up and available. Spirit baby readings. I have a new spirit baby deck that is coming out very, very soon. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that as well. Anyways, all of these things are on my website, so go to the link in my bio. It'll actually take you to booking a Zoom meeting with me to do a reading. But if you go to the shop tab on my website, it has my oracle decks. It has a lot of the offerings I just mentioned of other types of readings. So just, click around, browse around. You can find a whole bunch of fun stuff. So anyways, that's basically it, you guys. Thank you for hanging in there, and I appreciate you all so much. Keep sparkling, my friends.